Truth Be Told Project.
You know, it's not the arguments that scare me most. It's the silence, that quiet space between two people where the air feels heavy, but nobody's yelling. You pass each other like ghosts in the same house, doing what needs to be done, but the laughter that used to fill the rooms has turned into echoes. And sometimes that silence is louder than any fight could ever be. Maybe you know that feeling. You still love each other. You still pray before dinner. You still post the anniversary photos on social media. But something's drifted, not all at once, slowly, like the tide pulling back from the shore, until one day you look up and realize the water's gone quiet. But it's not just between you and your spouse, is it? It's in your soul, that place where you used to feel alive with God, full of worship, full of joy. Now it feels still, almost numb. Last time we talked about spiritual drift, what happens when your soul quietly disconnects from God. But here's the thing, drift never stays spiritual. When your heart drifts from God, your emotions start drifting too. And eventually, your marriage, your friendships, even your sense of self begin to follow. John 15:5 says, "Apart from me, you can do nothing." Jesus wasn't just talking about ministry or productivity. He was talking about love itself. Because when the connection to the source weakens, every relationship downstream begins to dry up. But here's the good news. Drift doesn't have to mean distance forever. The same current that carried you away can carry you back if you recognize where the tide turned. So today we're talking about the emotional drift, the slow fade of affection, the quiet erosion of connection, the invisible loneliness that settles in even when everything looks fine. If that's where you are, if your love feels quiet, you're not broken, you're just drifting. And drift can be reversed because the same God who restores souls also restores hearts. He's not afraid of your silence. He can rebuild what distance tried to destroy. Let's talk about how it happens and how we find our way back. You probably heard it said, when the vertical drifts, the horizontal follows. And I've seen it in my own life, in marriages, in ministry. Spiritual drift doesn't start loud. It starts subtle. Less prayer, less worship, more distraction, and before long, connection becomes routine. Belief without intimacy. Then emotional drifts follow. When the soul stops connecting vertically, the heart starts starving horizontally. You talk less, you misunderstand more, not because you stop caring, but because you stop connecting to the source. John 15:5 says, "I am the vine, you are the branches." If we disconnect from the vine, we might still look alive for a while, but the fruit fades. Imagine two coffee cups on a counter. One's warm, the other's cold. Both came from the same pot, but one was left untouched. That's emotional drift. The love's still there, it's just gone cold from neglect. You didn't lose it, you just stopped stirring it. And psychologically, when the soul's malnourished, the emotions become self-protective. We pull back to feel safe. But the same walls that keep hurt out also keep love out. Psalm 42 says, "My soul thirsts for God." When our soul stops drinking from Him, we start numbing with distraction. That ache you feel, isn't failure, it's a signal. It's your soul whispering, I miss the source that quenched my thirst. And God can redeem even that ache, because he doesn't just redeem sins, he redeems seasons. Most people don't notice until silence feels normal, until I'm fine becomes the family language. Let's name the stages, not to shame, but only to see clearly. Stage 1, this is the numbness stage. You're not angry, you're just indifferent. You stop feeling because it's safer than being disappointed. Isaiah 29:13 says, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Numbness is not peace, it's protection. Ask yourself, what have I stopped feeling because it felt safer not to? The second stage is the invisible loneliness stage. You're together, but lonely. You crave to be known, but you don't know how to start. You find comfort in busyness instead of each other. You share a bed, but not connection. That ache, that's not hopelessness, it's hunger. It's your heart saying, I still want this. Stage 3 is the silent stage. The things you stop talking about start breaking you. Resentment grows roots. Communication turns cautious instead of honest. Psalm 32:3 says, when I kept silent, my bones wasted away. Unspoken pain doesn't disappear. It just disguises itself as distance. Stage 4 is the performance stage. You look fine on the outside, but you're living from routine, not relationship. You've learned maintenance, not intimacy. You mistake performance for presence. Love can't survive on performance. It needs pursuit. And what's been neglected can be rebuilt, because love doesn't die easily. It just waits for someone to notice it again. Drift isn't a marriage problem. It's a soul problem. First, there is a spiritual disconnection. Busyness replaces prayer. Ministry replaces intimacy. We lose the first love feeling that Jesus spoke about in Revelation 2:4. And when our love for God cools, our empathy cools too. You can't pour out what you haven't received. Reconnect to the source and the warmth returns. Second is the emotional avoidance. Many of us were never taught to feel safely. We learn to hide behind, I'm fine. But you can't connect emotionally if you're disconnected internally. Psalm 62:8 says, pour out your hearts before him. God doesn't ask for perfection, he asks for honesty. Bring your unfiltered emotions to him so you can bring them to your spouse. The third is unhealed wounds. Sometimes your spouse isn't the problem. They're just triggering an old one. Old rejection, old abandonment. Unhealed hearts leak until they're healed at the source. Psalm 34:18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He doesn't shame you, he stitches you. Healing starts when pretending stops. Healing starts simple. Let's walk through 4 ways. The first is the return to the source. You can't restore emotional intimacy without spiritual intimacy. Psalm 51:12 says, restore to me the joy of your salvation. Pray again. Sit together in silence. Invite God back into the space between you and your spouse. Because when joy is restored vertically, love flows horizontally. The second thing you need to do is reopen communication. Ask, how's your heart today? Practice the 15-minute check-in. 7 minutes to speak, 7 minutes to listen, 1 minute to pray. James 1:19 says, be quick to listen, slow to speak. The goal isn't fixing, it's feeling. Listening is love in action. Third, relearn each other. People change. Stay curious, ask new questions, discover who your spouse is becoming. Philippians 1:9 says that your love may abound in knowledge and depth of insight. Love doesn't die of old age, it dies of neglect. But curiosity resurrects. The fourth thing is repair with presence, not performance. You can't schedule your way out of distance. Presence heals what performance hides. Sit together, hold hands, pray, just be. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love doesn't just endure storms, it rebuilds after them. Maybe the problem isn't that love is gone. Maybe it's just gone quiet. Maybe the silence isn't punishment. Maybe it's invitation. An invitation to return, to discover, to slow down, because God doesn't waste silence. He works in it. If you're feeling for He's not, He's right there whispering, come closer. The distance you feel is not the end. It's the beginning of redemption. Drift doesn't have to end in distance. It can lead you home. John 15:5 says, apart from me, you can do nothing, but with Him, you can rebuild anything. Love can sing again. You just have to start the first note. Here's a question I have for you. Where in your emotions or marriage do you feel yourself drifting? What's one small way you can show up with presence this week? What emotions have you been avoiding? Where has performance replaced presence? What spiritual practice could re-anchor your emotions? Prayer, journaling, worship, or rest? Time to reflect, because living by design always begins with awareness. Here are some words to live by. Apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15:5. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:8. Those aren't just verses. They're designed blueprints for love that lasts. Maybe the problem isn't that love is gone. Maybe it's that the heart went quiet. Maybe the silence isn't punishment. Maybe it's an invitation to return, to slow down, to find each other again the way God designed love to be, honest, unhurried, and whole. But for some of us, that silence became something else. It didn't end in distance. It led us somewhere we never planned to go. It's easy to spot spiritual drift when you stop praying. It's harder to notice emotional drift when you start confiding. You tell yourself it's harmless, it's just conversation. But one day you realize you've started sharing your heart with someone who isn't your spouse because it felt easier than facing the silence at home. In the next episode, we'll talk about the moment drift becomes displacement, when validation replaces devotion and connection becomes confusion. This one gets very real, but it also gets redemptive. Until next time, remember, don't just live by default, live by design, God's design. Peace.
Truth Be Told Project.